Race number 7, race 6 was an absolute disaster as not only did I lose it on the first lap, assisted by another driver, but then I made a huge mistake trying to get back onto the track in a safe manner. And unfortunately, I spun out in the grass and then sent myself into the middle of the road and just ruined 3 or 4 people's races. I felt absolutely awful. One individual berated me quite loudly on in chat, but that's what it's all about, I guess. Whatever. Okay, so let me turn off voice chat here because why bother? Um, so the interesting thing is I have set a 203.1, which is the fastest lap I've ever set on Sebring, and I find myself in pole position at the start of this race, wondering how I got up here. That's what it looks like when you're in pole position and there's nobody around you. I'm very excited, but also nervous about this. Would love to finish in first place, but not holding my breath. But let's see how first lap goes. I get a great launch, pulling away from people right away. And so pretty happy with that. Again, I've been practicing my launches, so yeah, that's pretty good. Heading into the first turn, cautious. Everything is on cold tires. Drivers behind me spin out, causing some damage and slowing others down. So I get a good jump. I'm 2.5, almost 3 seconds ahead of the next person. Another person behind spins out 2.5 seconds ahead of Julian, with Riley 2.9 seconds behind me there. So I am, needless to say, ecstatic with how the first lap is going, which is going to be a fairly slow lap considering cold tires and warming them up. But yeah, I'm in first place, and I can't believe it. Still in first place. It's shocking, I know, but here we go. The other thing I might mention is today is my birthday. And so I got on the radio and told everybody, if you'd like to let me win this race, this is after I was starting on pole, by all means, it's my birthday, and let me. Only one person wished me a happy birthday, so I can't take the credit for that. But how are things going? I'm still now 3.6 seconds ahead of Julian behind me, making great progress and pulling away. I'm absolutely shocked at how well it is going so far. Still the first lap, tires are cold. Going into the complex and difficult corners here. Get a good exit out of here, keeping Julian at 3.6 behind me. I almost over-rotate going into that turn, but I'm able to correct it and calm myself down relatively quickly. Look at that. That's a beautiful sight. Look at me ahead of everybody. I've never seen that before, so it's very exciting to me. All right, heading into the final turn, turn 17. I've got this down. I've started improving here even further, accelerating myself out of that turn. But the first lap is very slow, like a 2-minute, 10-second lap. Not a great lap, but again, everybody's on colds, and clearly I'm now 4.1 seconds ahead of Julian, doing quite well. Riley passes Julian. I'm still 4.4 seconds, 4.5 ahead of him. Things are looking really good. Let's go into lap 2. Just trying to maintain my distance. I can see that Riley is already starting to eke a few tenths out here and there. But I just want to focus on my fast driving and my braking points and doing what I need to do. Now, this is an interesting thing. Again, having never been in first place, it's kind of weird. When you are chasing somebody down in front of you, I feel like it's easier to chase somebody than be chased. And so when you're chasing somebody down in front of you, they're almost setting what is the maximum speed that you can do. 4.2, 4.1 seconds ahead of Riley. I'm getting better at this turn as well, releasing the brake a bit earlier than I have been to get more acceleration out of that corner. Again, keeping them at a 4.1, 4.2 distance. Now, some of that is because these three behind me are battling a little bit, but you can see Riley has pulled away from them. He's now at a 3.8. I take this a little slower than I would have liked, but I get through turn 16 healthily and keep my pressure up. 4 seconds ahead of Riley. Only lap 2 though. Lots of laps to go. In fact, 11 more to go after this. Again, decent maneuvering through here. There's this one bump, that last one you just saw, and once you're past that, I just slam the foot to the accelerator and try to carefully maneuver my way through the track so I don't over rotate and crash. You can see way in the back there somebody has crashed, doing exactly what I was just talking about, hugging this left wall here, accelerating out. Great exit. I've now pulled 4.7 seconds ahead of Riley. Feeling pretty good about that too. So overall, keeping good pace here and just pushing. Again, really weird to be in this position, first place with nobody in front of me. It's almost confusing, to be honest with you. Yeah, you can see them way in the back there, 3.6 seconds, so they're gaining a little bit. Through the hairpin, accelerating out of that. Still holding them out at about 3.8, 4.0 seconds. But Riley is definitely a contender for catching up to me at this point. Good exit through there. Riley 3.5 seconds behind me. Into the difficult turn 15, 16. And I currently have the fastest lap too at a 2:03.733, one of the fastest laps I've ever set on the track. There is a certain amount of pressure you feel. Riley's now 3.2 seconds behind me. And there's a certain amount of pressure you feel when you see that somebody is closing in on you. But, you know, I'm trying to weigh that with not overextending myself. There's the bump right there that I can accelerate after. And you know, if you overextend yourself, next thing you know, you've spun the car and crashed into something. And again, this is coming right off of a race where I really did have a disastrous first lap. But I'm not even thinking about that. Like, I haven't thought about that until, honestly, I just brought it up here. Still holding Riley back at about 3.5 seconds, but he is closing quickly. He's now down to 3.2. Just a fast driver. I'm sure he tastes blood in the water too as he's coming towards me. .7 seconds behind me. So he's definitely chipping tenths of seconds out of the lap time as he's got his tires warmed up and is no longer battling with the people around him. .8. Good exit out of there, but he's still collecting me up. 2.4. So he's nearly cutting half a second out of me going through this section. If I had the radio on at one point, I think it's about when he gets to the 2-second mark. I tell him, "It's my birthday, Riley. Don't you do it. Don't you pass me." I don't know if he even had his radio on. He never responded, but I was just mostly being silly. I am super excited to be going into lap 5, still leading the race. I've never led a race this long. I think in Formula V, I have. at very, very early amateur matches. But in Porsche Cup, never have I been in first place, and certainly not for this long. I will say also, one of the interesting things is the Porsche Cup North America has been running races this weekend here at Sebring. And so I watched those races as well and watched those drivers to get a sense of where they're hitting the course. And it did change a little bit of how I was driving. This is where I have told Riley, don't you pass me. It's my birthday. I see you back there. But I know he's coming. And I think at a certain point I actually tell him, go ahead and pass me on this side when he gets up real close to me. Mostly because I just would rather finish the race. I'd rather finish the race, honestly, even in 5th place than not finish the race at all. It's so unusual to see my telemetry data here. 1.1 seconds, 1.0 behind me now. Because when you're in first place, there's nobody else like around you, in front of you, and normally I'm used to seeing drivers in front of me, so it's only showing me like the top 4 drivers at this moment. So here we go down the straightaway. I do fine here. Riley is getting up on me. I don't know that he's going to pass me this lap, but he is going to pass me soon, as you'll see. I just can't hold him off. I'm just not fast enough yet. But I'm getting there. I'm definitely, I mean, the whole point of this channel was to watch my improvement. And if I look now at how I am driving this track versus how I've driven Sebring before, it is night and day difference. I mean, I'm in the 203s, which again, there's other drivers setting 201s, even maybe 2-minute laps. But, you know, for me, this is massive improvement, and I couldn't be happier with the progress I'm making. You can see Riley coming up on me very close. I'm expecting him to attack here, but he doesn't. He holds back just a little bit for a safer place to pass, which I appreciate. I've tried to kind of back him up too into James there, because maybe if they start fighting, it'll open up space for myself. But that's not what's about to happen. You'll see. I do enjoy this part of the track a lot right here. So I see that Riley and James are in front of me, but Sasha, who I've raced before, is 4.5 seconds back from me. So I'm thinking, well, look, even if these guys pass me, I'm going to try to hold out for 3rd. This is where I make my first and probably only mistake. I go off the track there, and as a result, Riley's able to get the jump on me. He was probably going to get me down this straight anyway. James is coming up behind me. I'm a little concerned that James is going to be aggressive. And sure enough, James takes this corner. Really, I get the warning that he's on the inside. So I swing out, let him have it. He now takes 2nd place. I could have probably taken that a little tighter, but when you get that warning that there's somebody to your right, you want to be careful. As a result, though, Sasha behind me is now 3 seconds behind me, not 4.5 like he was. And so that has me a little concerned as well. But here I'm thinking they're going to pull away. And actually, I'm kind of keeping the pressure up on James in front of me, as you'll see. By the way, this is us on lap 7 of 13. So pretty much at this point, halfway through the race, you can see I am right on James here. And this is a little concerning too, because I don't want to collide with him. I have to understand where he's going to brake, and I need to brake just slightly before he does so that I don't slam into the back of him. He opens up the gap a little bit here, but not by much. One thing I did watch is as he took that turn, I noticed he took it a little wider than I did to kind of slingshot himself out there. So I'm intent on Sasha's 2 seconds behind me now. You can see him there. I'm intent on keeping James within striking distance here and keeping the pressure up on him. And you can see down this straightaway, I mean, I'm close. I'm 0.3. God, if I were another 1/10 of a second closer, I would have probably tried an overtake right here. But he knows I'm coming. I take this carefully. I'm going to the inside of him. He's able to maintain it. And we're going to go for another lap around. Sasha is 1.8 behind me. He swings wide here, and you can see that I start accelerating right here. I'm able to slingshot out right behind him and just keep that distance. I'm within 0.3 to 0.2 of a second behind him. This is where if you're pushing, and you've seen me do it before, if you've watched my videos, you're pushing there, that's where you can lose it. So I'm a little cautious. I lose a couple 1/10 to him there because I'm just not willing to slide the car and just ruin my whole race at this point. But I am keeping right on him. Actually, I really like his livery now that I'm looking at it. It's a Red Bull livery, but I like the shininess of it. You can see behind me, Sasha's 1.3 seconds, so definitely coming up on me. And I'm getting worried that I am going to lose 3rd place at this point. I really don't want to lose 3rd place. I really want to finish on the podium this race for a number of reasons. One, I've been really working hard to get faster and improve my racecraft here. Number two, I started in 1st. I don't want to go that far down the pack. I'd really like to get on the podium again. It's been so long since I've been on the podium. And you know, number 3, I just want to win. I just want to win. So here we go. Down the straight into the last turn, turn 17, the difficult bumpy one as you hit over the road. And you see that right there, whoa, that is a close call. I'm going to back that up and show you just how close that was from outside. So here we go. From outside, he starts to lose control, slams into the wall. I narrowly avoid that. Somebody collides with him behind us, but Sasha and I make it through. But you can see behind us, suddenly people are dropping off, 4.5 seconds. So now I'm in 2nd place, and even if Sasha passes me, and again I radio Sasha saying, "Don't do it, it's my birthday." I tell Sasha, you know, even if Sasha passes me at this point, I'm in 3rd, and I've got 5 seconds to the person behind Sasha at this point. Now we saw how that lead got eaten away before, so I'm well aware of that. Interesting, I just noticed the line that Sasha takes there and gets a good run on me down the straight here. I believe at a certain point I'm going to tell Sasha just go ahead and pass me on a side because I see that he's real close. He tries to kind of feint me there, sliding to the right. I'm kind of beyond falling for that at this point. At least I think I am. We'll see. Mind you, Riley is 4.5 seconds ahead of me at this point. So that's how fast Riley is. And the reason that I wasn't going to hold Riley up for long. Sasha's at 0.5 second with Marcus 4.2 seconds behind that. Sasha comes in real strong here, 0.2, right on my tail. tell him to go ahead and pass me on the left. I slide over to the right and allow him to pass. Rather finish the race in third than not finish it at all. And he was clearly faster than I was. But now Marcus behind me is 1.6 seconds. It's amazing how much you lose going off the racing line there. So I'm determined to stay ahead of Marcus. Again, I want to at least finish in a podium finish this race. It's been too long. We're on lap 9 at the moment. And I'm just so focused on how I'm driving. That's the bump right there I was talking about. You can accelerate after that bump. But how I'm doing and focused on where my brake points are. And I'm trying to use Sasha as much as possible to draft off of so that I can continue to push and stay, you know, I highly doubt that I'm going to pass Sasha at this point, but you never know. They may have an accident or a mistake or something that lets me take advantage of it. But more important than that, I want to stay close to him so that I'm getting pulled along. Marcus is a second behind me at this point. Less than a second. And I'm really aware of it. And I am hyper focused on where my brake lines are. Staying up next to Sasha. And keeping out of trouble. Marcus half a second behind me. At this point, I'm not going to give anybody the wave through like I did with Riley and Sasha. At this point, I'm going to try to hold off any kind of pass or defense. Both get a good run down the back straight. Sasha half a second behind me. Sasha comes flying up on my rear there, but loses control of the car. And now I'm pulling away from them. The person behind them has to brake to maneuver, Marcus. And so that causes him to lose time. Chanum Lee behind me is 3.1 seconds behind me. We are on lap 11. And it's looking pretty good. But I'm still going to have to keep pace. And I'm trying to keep up with Sasha. I'm still less than a second behind him. Just focused on the person in front of me. I get an off-track penalty right there, 1x right there. I just was a little too far to the side, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I really haven't had, I think I've had one prior to that, so maybe I end up with 2. I can't recall, but I don't have many. Yeah, I think I have 2 penalty points at this point, which is fine. And actually, it has me thinking at one point it might be worth taking a penalty, a 1x, to gain some distance on Chaeum Lee behind me. But I am still holding him out at 3 seconds. I'm at 3.1. I gained a 10th on him there. Here we go through the difficult turn. I find that a challenging turn to hit just right. But man, when you do, you really gain some pace. Shannon's still 3 seconds behind me. And I'm not even really, this is how focused I am. I'm not even paying attention to what lap I'm on. And I get the radio message that says 2 laps to go at this point. And I think, oh, there is no way I'm going to give up this time. Shannon has dropped back half a second from me through that turn. If I can just continue to focus and keep driving fast, I'm 1 second behind Sasha, so I've lost a little bit of time there, but I'm gaining on the person behind me. I need to just keep going. But also in my mind at this point creeps in the, oh, don't overcompensate in a corner here and cause yourself to have an accident. Like, don't spin out. That would be disastrous at this point, especially after you've worked so hard for so many laps to accomplish this. 3.2 seconds ahead of Chanheem behind me. Chanhee Lim. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. And behind him, Layla, 7.2 seconds. We've raced against Layla before as well. .1 still. If I can maintain a 3-second gap as we go into the final lap, I will be very confident about where we are. Sasha is pulling ahead 2.3 seconds now. I have kind of given up catching up to Sasha at this point. Just trying to hit my marks. Be cautious. The drafting here, you have to be about a second to a second and a half behind the person to gain the draft. I'm about 1.5 behind Sasha, but it's not terribly strong at that distance. Do a good turn here, a little too tight, so I slow down a little too much, but still not bad. I actually gain a couple tenths on Sasha through that corner and open up to Chanhee another couple tenths as well, so overall not bad. We are in the final lap of the race. I'm 1 second behind Sasha. And honestly, at this moment, it starts creeping into my head that what are the odds I might be able to catch and pass Sasha as we get closer to the end? All I need for him to do is make one mistake. But he's a second and a half ahead of me now, so it's unlikely to happen. Meanwhile, behind me, Chanhee is 2.5 seconds, 2.7 seconds behind me. He's gained a little bit, but probably not enough. Probably going to be, as long as I don't make a mistake, there's no way he's going to catch me by the end of this lap. So I can't make a mistake. I'm highly focused on what's going on. 1.5 seconds behind Sasha. He opens it up to almost 2 seconds through that turn. Chanhee is still 2.8 behind me. Done a better job managing my tires through this race as well. I've just been able to, I guess, without having to avoid so many people and avoid accidents, I'm able to just maintain the tire temperatures and everything a little bit better. Chanhee 3.1 seconds behind me. Sasha 1.4 ahead. Highly unlikely I'm going to catch Sasha at this point. So I'm looking at a potential third place finish. Now I'm 0.8 behind Sasha. If he makes a mistake here, if he makes a mistake in this corner, I'll get second place. But he's not going to make a mistake. He's not going to make a mistake. I'm going to take the car across the finish line in third place. And, yeah, I get the podium. Super, super excited about that I finally achieved a podium again in Porsche Cup. So let's see what that did to the stats that I was working on. So, the previous race, I lost a ton because the previous race, which I'll load up after this just to show you the accident and how I screw up really bad. In the previous race, I started in 11th, finished in 19th. Got a 5x penalty there, but I lost a ton of points. Let me just show you that real quick before we get into this. I lost 61 I-rating points, which is absolutely the wrong direction I want to go. But this time, I get 2 incident points. I start in first, I end in third. it's even a stronger strength of force of people than the previous race. So I gained 81 points here. I gained a tenth and one safety rating, bringing my safety rating up, which I'm not really focused on at this point, but it's easy when nobody's around you to not hit them. So yeah, and here I am, third place on the podium. Pretty excited about that. Learned a lot. Learned it's really weird to be at the front. Really weird. And my fastest lap time, I'm down in the 2:03s now. But you can even see Renato here. Renato in 7th place set the fastest lap of the track. I mean, the people behind me were not slow. They just couldn't make it happen for whatever reason. The accident in the first turn did probably gain me a bunch of time. So that was all pretty exciting for me there to see that happen. You know, as we started off right away. So let me show you what happened in the race before this, just really quick. It's one of those situations where the accident happened. I think it's almost a racing incident. It'd be easy to say the person behind me hit me and shouldn't, but when you see the replay, I feel like it's a racing incident. Maybe they're at fault, maybe I'm at fault. It's hard to say. But then the subsequent result of what I do after that is disastrous. And I apologized to people over the radio. I said, I am so sorry if I wrecked your race there. I screwed up getting back on the track. And I am normally a very safe driver and very safe about getting back on the track safely and not causing a problem. But I thought I had a big gap, and I spin out, as you'll see what's going to happen here. So let's get through the race. So I start this race in 11th place. This is race 6, I believe. I'm going to start this race in 11th place. As usual, I get a pretty good launch right off the bat, passing this guy in the Verstappen race livery here down the straight. Go to the inside. I slow down considerably because I just don't want to get tangled up in any accidents that are going to happen right there. All in all, pretty clean. Like, everybody pretty cleanly makes their way through the first turn. I have people on my right. It's just, now we have somebody going off the track. You know, people are jockeying for position. Here's the first accident. Make up a couple places there. But again, I'm side by side with people, so I'm not able to get a good racing line. And we're very close to where my accident is going to happen. I'm going to show you it from a couple different angles. So here we are. Behind me is Mason Piper. There I am. Oh, so you know, you see that again, and you can tell that that is not even Mason's fault, actually. It is the person to the right of Mason who dive bombs the situation here. Yeah, he's there, but going 3 wide into this, number 6. Yeah, Alexis Dufour, I think. Yeah, that is not gonna work. Alexis Dufour in France. Yeah, that's not gonna work, because what happens here is you can see he tags Mason, who then hits me. Yeah, he really had nowhere to go. That was just, he got forced through. I'm now out of it. And so what occurs then is I wind up here in the grass, and I screw up so bad. I shouldn't have come back on. I thought I wasn't on the grass at that point. I thought I had more traction than I did, and that I could swing back on. What I was trying to do was, you'll see here, swing back onto the side of the track, but it just put me across the middle. And before I could get out of the way, I just ruin a bunch of people's races. And I feel absolutely awful about that. I try to carry on, but I realize I've got too much damage, so I just pull off the road over here and go to the pits. And man, I really did feel bad about that. And it was a mistake. I've learned a lesson from it. Just stop and then slowly get back on the track. I thought I had more traction than I did. But anyway, that was the end of that race effectively for me. I was out for 6.5 minutes. I was able to get back on the track, earn a little bit back, but and in fact, the frustrating thing was I was faster than some of the people that had passed me. I was passing them, even though, if they were right behind me, I was getting blue flagged. So it is what it is. Races 6 and 7 are complete, and yeah, so we'll see if we do another race at Sebring before we call it for the week, but we'll see.